Hello, welcome to the Critical Obsession podcast. My name is Mirella.
And I'm Zoe.
And today we're going to watch and talk about Vice Versa episode 5.
And I have no idea what's going to happen, contrary to my earlier things with this show. I really haven't seen any of this up this far. So I actually can't remember what happened last episode. What happened last episode?
You don't remember episode 4? You don't remember
Wait, hang on.
episode?
Wait. It's coming back to me. The fight, the kiss,
I was about to leave you and never come back and never speak to you again. Come on.
As I was just mentioning to you in our conversation before we started recording, it's been a really long, hard week. So I'm trying to remember, if you asked me what happened yesterday, I don't know if I could tell you. So
I'm not expecting you to remember what happened 30 minutes ago, but I am expecting you to remember what happened in episode 4 of Vice Versa.
I just needed a second, right? I remember.
Okay.
I remember. We had the brilliant sea scene where which wasn't a scene where there was water, but with this acting, where I sort of sat up and took notice for the first time. So yeah, I do remember. It just took me a while to get there. So they have this sort of playful, at the moment, I believe, kind of agreement that they're just going to see what happens and do what they need to do to make this a successful project. So we'll see what happens. I keep saying see different every time. It sounds like I'm saying see a lot, but I'm just why am I paying attention? Why am I noticing such weird things? Anyway. And now I'm pointing it out so everyone else notices it.
The response is that you want to see the episode. You want to watch the episode.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I want to see, do some more stuff.
Yeah. So
I know that there is a scene that comes up at some point where C and Jimmy are at the beach, where he came out or drowned or whatever. So it's so I wonder when we'll see C at the sea.
Not in this episode. But you are going to see something this episode that we talked about in the trailer reaction, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't remember what happened yesterday, so I definitely do not remember.
Okay, so
I definitely do not remember what I said, what we talked about in the trailer reaction. But yeah, so let's watch it and maybe I will remember. We'll see.
Okay.
And there's that C again.
Let's go. Part 1. Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, hey?
So I'm curious to hear what is the first thing you want to say.
I don't really have anything specific to say. There is a couple of things, but it's way in the end of this first part. So it seems a bit weird to talk about it now.
So you haven't noticed that this is the first part that is not 20 minutes long? It's 13 minutes.
Oh,
first part.
No, I didn't actually pay attention to that this time for some reason. I know, I've been fixated on it, but maybe it's because it wasn't 20 minutes long that I didn't realize. Do you know what I mean?
While I was watching the preview, that scene where Boone says, "Will you forgive me?" He says it in such a breathy, emotional way, breathy voice. Talay had no choice. He had no choice.
He had to forgive him.
They had to forgive him.
You were like, I forgive you.
You haven't done anything to me, but yeah, I forgive you. It's all right. Yeah. I guess it was my fault.
Yeah. This is pretty much how I find I am with Jimmy's characters. I'm just it's alright. My precious baby, you're fine. You did nothing wrong.
So they are in their studio, and Poon cares a
In their
lot.
their
Pink
pink studio.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he says he edited the presentation or the script. The script, I think. Anyway, the thing that they sent to Tan's dad, no, to Tessa's dad. And they're very emotional because they're going to get an email telling them if their project is accepted or not. And then does this thing with it, abracadabra. What does it say? Like,
I love how they call that. Yeah, I love how they call that a prayer. It's
prayer.
Like, who exactly are they praying to? The magic gods? So funny.
It's not that surprising. I think a lot of people, like, there are fields where they're super superstitious about things, but it looked very silly, and like they were so invested in that prayer. They're so over the top. You know what?
Yeah.
It worked.
Oh, I mean, I'm not querying the superstition or like doing a prayer or like, you know, something for luck, but it's just funny that they called the abracadabra a prayer because the two don't really go together unless you're a magician. It's like it was a weird way to refer to it, but
Actually,
as you said, probably adds to the humor.
Did you know that this thing comes from something that is said in Latin that is related to religion? It was something that priests would say to people in Latin. They wouldn't know what they were talking, and they just rounded up to abracadabra.
Well, there you go. No, I did not know that.
What it was exactly. Something in the name. Something, you know, one of those phrases that they repeat all the time, but it was in Latin.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's time to get Google out. Everybody Google abracadabra.
Yeah. So.
But yeah. And then we got the title, which is long distance. What is it? Long distance relationship, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Not funny, but like it made me think about. We've had many discussions about, you know, what happens if one goes back and one stays, or like whatever. Like now, that's a long distance relationship when you're going through different like universes. But I was just, that's what it made me think of when they actually said it.
But what a title to choose for your movie. It's so bland and boring. I mean, my dear near and or
near and far.
Yeah, it is. It is so much better than long distance relationship.
I thought the same thing. I liked it better too. There is a movie. I think there is a movie though, like a mainstream American movie with I think Drew Barrymore in it, called Long Distance Relationship. I'm 99% sure that there's one that exists and it has her in it, and that's what it's called.
I think I watched it. Is it really called Long Distance Relationship?
I'm like 99% sure, but like now I'm like questioning my life choices, so maybe I'm wrong. But I think it's called like something very unimaginable, like that, you know, like without very much thought,
imagination.
Yeah, because the movie's like literally about the long distance relationship. So it's like someone, you know.
Does it have a scene where the relatives catch them having sex on a table, on the dinner table?
Actually, that is ringing a bell. So potentially, yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because like the movie is it was like someone was going, oh, it's a movie about a long distance relationship. I know, let's call it a long distance relationship. Okay, I've just Googled it. It's not actually called long distance.
How is it called?
It's called Going the Distance, which is actually a bit clever, but at some point, probably long distance relationship was probably a working title.
So
but yeah, Going the Distance is kind of clever, just like the one that you said, like My Dear Near or Far or whatever. That's clever.
It
like,
is. Yeah, it's a weird title to choose. I guess they were concerned people would not catch the message, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, do you know?
Do you understand what we're talking about here? What we're implying? Are you
Yeah, I know,
sure?
right? Just in case you don't understand it.
So they get the email, and it says that it's romantic and complete, and it passes, and it's ready to film. And then they get the intro, and this episode, it's called Winter White.
Before we get into the winter white of it, because I had Google open, I thought I would Google abracadabra because you made me curious. And for those listening at home, it's a Hebrew saying that means I will create as I speak.
A Hebrew.
And it says, and it says a magic word that cured diseases. Christians later adapted it to ward off evil spirits and demons, and the word is associated with magicians and stage magic.
Ooh, I mixed it up. It's not about the abracadabra. It was about focus pocus. Yeah, the Latin
hocus
thing.
pocus.
Yeah, I think about that.
Okay, so now I'm curious. Now I'm looking up.
Google hocus pocus.
now I'm googling hocus pocus because why not?
If you hear me say something, always check it. Do a fact check. My brain is weird. I remember that I have something interested in my mind somewhere about a thing, but I don't remember what it is usually.
They reckon it comes from hocus est corpus, which means this is my body. So, and they reckon that it's takes that taking from that, and then usually because with magic it's always sleight of hand, so it's basically like a verbal misrepresentation intended to take advantage of you in some way. Interesting. Completely nothing to do with what we're here to talk about, but here we go. It's always a good day when you learn something new.
So, but I did read that I'm sure I read about this.
You'll have to tell me later because now I'm curious.
I will.
About the book.
I will.
You know me and books. So yeah, it's so Winter White.
Yeah.
So I mean, as I said, I have no insight into what that's referring to. I didn't notice a lot of white. I wasn't, I mean, the most obvious white thing that I remember is the car in the car park when they're standing out in the car park. That car was white. But other than that, I didn't really notice a lot of white in this first bit. Maybe I missed it. But I was focused on the fact that they both keep doing this thing where they keep saying or doing something to one another that's clearly shaking the other person. And so they're having these moments of intimacy that are just trapping each other, or in some cases both of them are getting trapped in the intimacy, and then one of them will freak and kind of break the moment. So I was paying more attention to that than I was necessarily the color thing.
It's not even them most of the time. It's the phone. The phone is the enemy of love, Zoe. The phone is the enemy of love. Electromagnetic rays. Who discovered them? What have you done? What have you done to Poon and Tale?
Was there any white stuff in this first bit that you noticed or that you thought was important?
Not really, but when it happens, you will notice it. I remember distinctly a certain thing that this can be related to, and
because I did that thing, where I let it play the trailer. The lead in for the next part. I really don't understand why GMM do that. It frustrates the hell out of me. They're like, here, have a trailer for part 2, which you're about to watch in 5 seconds. And there's something in that fits the title. Whether or not it's the same thing that you're talking about, I'm assuming it would be.
It's probably that same thing. Yeah.
But yeah,
pretty straightforward.
Well, once that's happened, then we can talk about what you think it means.
Yeah. Okay. So they're outside, and Poon starts talking about the kissing.
How it helped to make him be better.
Improve his screenwriting. Yeah. And then Tale says, "Stop messing with me." I mean, no, Tale remembers, I guess, the moment from the last
Yeah,
episode
the
when they
flashback.
kissed. Yeah. And Talei's first reaction was to push him away, wipe his mouth. I think he wiped his mouth, right?
I don't remember if he wiped his mouth, but yeah.
I feel
I
like he
mean,
did.
people do that, I feel like, for two reasons after a kiss. One is to, like, show that it didn't mean anything or, like, that you're not happy. And the other is to give you a second to, like, distance yourself from the moment.
I
I think he needed a moment.
think all of those reasons worked for him.
Yeah,
Because
they
he was
do.
not sure what it was about. He was confused. He did not like being surprised. And he says, "Stop messing. I told you to stop messing with me." And Boone just replies that he kissed him because he felt like kissing him. And I guess Talay accepted this answer as not a bad answer because he, like, we're in present times again, and he basically teases Boone for kissing him, for giving him a lousy kiss, basically. He's like, if I were the female lead and got kissed like that, I wouldn't be captivated. So he's basically daring Boone to kiss him in a way that captivates him.
Then you have, of course, Boone asking him if he wants to try again, and then Talay is trapped in this moment of intimacy where he's like
captivated.
And yeah, well, he's frozen with anticipation at the thought of getting kissed again by him. The devil phone breaks it up by him receiving a text message.
The way they kept looking into each other's eyes as Boone was approaching him. Talay just froze. He would not move away. And of course, the phone distracted them.
And this is probably the first thing that really took my notice. I mean, obviously other stuff did too, but like this was the first moment in the episode that made me go, okay, interesting.
Why?
And I don't know that it's okay because Talay says my brother said we got a director. And like not like and I'm assuming once again I'm going with the translation that is in the subtitles, and I'm assuming it is correct. But it's interesting that he refers to Tessa's brother in that way, considering like it makes sense for him to say it like that if there'd been other people around. But Quinn knows that he's not his brother, so like it's interesting that in his mind that's how he's saying things. Do you know what I mean? Not saying, oh, it's Tessa's brother, we got a director. Like, he's like, oh, my brother said we got a director. I just thought it was very interesting. It was very natural the way he said it and everything, and I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like, whether or not he's realizing, but it's almost like he's kind of slipping further into the role of Tess.
Yeah, it's like he's relaxing.
Into Tessa's life and Tessa's family.
Yeah. And then he invites Boone to eat, and there's no retreating at all. And I also I liked Boone's smug face that I read some kind of like, it's all right, I'll get you next time on his face.
He's like, there's more time for kisses later.
Yeah. So then we're with the friend credits group, and they are waiting to meet the new director that got assigned to them. And Wu says, we'll get along to him very well because he's funny, calm, and easy to talk to. And then the director appears screaming and being all menacing and intense. And
the exact opposite of what he's just been described as.
Yeah, and Tale is like, is this the wrong room? Did you notice how when they got startled at some point, up hit the director with that thing on his face?
The folder?
Yeah, the folder. Like when they got startled, he hit him in the face with the folder.
Yeah, I must have blinked or something. I never even saw that bit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
So he's like, I was nice before I got married.
Yeah. Well, the bit that I thought was really interesting, I mean, obviously we're meant to as well, is he says that it's a pretty good script overall, but he wants it to be more romantic. And they say, like, what, I think Pun says, how do I do that or whatever. And he suggests multiple lines. And they're so, it definitely feels like it's targeted at Pun and Tale, like, for real.
Yeah, because of course, because he suggests lines as a response to the line that the female lead said, "I'm not that into love," which is something that Tale said was inspired from Tale's saying. So yeah, he even looks at them when he says that.
Yeah, he's just like, maybe the person's right next to you, or like,
your soulmate.
when are you gonna open your heart to me, and like all this sort of stuff, and it's like,
Tale's like, me, and Pin is like, you,
and it's so funny because once again they get trapped in that moment, just the two of them, of intimacy.
Because
I think
Pin
only
is like,
to be
got
startled
it
out of it again. Sorry?
Because Tale is like, got it, and Pun just plays off like, no, it's about the script. I'm not going to change the script. It's your job. As if he did not get that, what Pun meant there.
And then, but I think they get sort of startled out of that moment because I think the director like hits the desk again, or one of the others says something. So once again, they're relying on outside influences more or less to break them up, or like break them out of this intimacy rather, not break them up. And so, like, it begs the question: if there's no, if no one interrupts them, what will happen? But I think there was a moment where in the bookshop where they have this like shared intimacy again, but Pun is the one who pulls himself out of it first, like it freaks him out or something.
Because he is reading that book, that xoxo, I think.
Shouju, yeah.
Shouju.
Yeah.
And Tale notices him, and he starts questioning him at first. And Pun thinks he's teasing him, but Tale is not really teasing him. He's actually curious. And Tale asks him, like, what is the book about? And Pun says it's about a nosy guy. And Tale says, this is about, are you talking about the book or me? And Pun says, about you. And then, so, but really it's what it's about. So Pun asks him why he is so interested, and Tale does this disarming, very honest thing, like, talks to him in a very gentle way that feels genuine.
Yeah, well, because it's funny because I think Pun actually says something like about him teasing him or something like that, or making fun of him or something.
Yeah.
And the line that Tale says, "I see you like it, so it has my attention." It's very romantic.
I know,
it's
right?
Like very, very romantic. Like I was a little shaken by it.
And you see, he does these things, like in the last episode when he said, "I think you're very cute when you're shy or when you pout," and it was like, ah! And then in the previous one, was it 2 or 3, when he says, "I'm okay if it's you." When Pun asks, "What if we are each other's podkeys?" I think it happened in episode 3 at the beginning. So basically, there's always this moment when he's being so honest, it's disarming, and it pulls Pun in. And you can see it on his face that he fell so much deeper in that moment. And he kind of got
it's funny
because
it's like, it's a really good line. Like if you're reading a book about a grand romance, my mouth. If you, my brain's like skipping ahead. My mouth's trying to catch up. If you were reading a book about a grand romance and that was a line in it, like your cheeks would hurt because you were smiling so hard. You'd be kicking your feet. Like you would just be like, this is a very romantic way to put it.
Well, that happened to me while watching it.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot, because they're talking about writing stuff and things like that, and things are being said earlier. reminds me of like if it was written in a script or in a book or whatever, like that is the reaction you would definitely get.
It's
and you're
so
right, you have that
funny.
reaction
It's so funny
even
how,
watching it.
even though Talay says that he's not into love, he's so
Romantic.
and effortlessly. It's like he's just being himself and being honest, and he says these amazing things that just you don't know what to do with them.
Because I think when he does let these things out, he's like, it's unconsciously almost like, it's not like
Mhm.
he hasn't like Tale is one of those people that you can tell thinks a lot about everything. He plans a lot.
Mhm.
He has like a lot of expectations for
Mhm.
himself. He sees the world very differently,
Self-control.
like this whole color thing. Yeah, he's a little bit controlling about the way he lives his life
Yeah.
and stuff. So when he has these moments of like honesty and like earnestness, it's like he hasn't really thought about it. It's just he's opened his mouth and let his brain do the, you know, like without overthinking it, without like whatever. Like this is not being analyzed. This is not being, you know, and the on the other other occasions too, they're just things that it's not like. And it's interesting too because, you know, often in these sorts of situations when things like that are said, it's like they're blurted out, like the person couldn't help but like word vomit all over the place. But it's not like that here. He's very kind of careful with his words and the way he says them. But you can tell he's not being like antagonized, like not antagonized, like
Calculated.
what's the word I'm looking for? No. I can't think of the word, but he hasn't been like sitting there, you know, considering, oh my God, should I say this? Should I not? You know what I mean? Like it's not. That's not even. I think sometimes he surprises himself, even. You know what I mean? But he's not. He's not too concerned with it because it's like he says it, and then in his brain he's like, yeah, that's what I meant. You know, like it's not. Like he doesn't feel bad for it or like freak about it or anything. But it's interesting that these moments are very clear that he's kind of stepped out of his normal mode. So he is like letting himself go a bit when he has these moments, which, and as I said, he's so buttoned up the rest of the time. It's really kind of interesting.
But it pulls you in, like it has such a force, these words that he says during this moment. You cannot but trust in what he says. Like, yeah, I believe
well, I think because there's no
like when I hear stuff like this most of the time, even in movies, even with characters that you know they're written to believe in what they're saying, and you know they're not going to prove you that they did not meant what they said, but sometimes you're like skeptical. You're like, oh yeah, whatever, sure.
Well, because often it sounds contrived, and like when he says it, it doesn't. And I think that's the reason why it feels different. Why it legit seems romantic.
And it's also beautifully what is that word? Oh my God, what is that word? Oh my God. When, you know, when he is like this, and on the other side of the spectrum is Poon, who is so different about these things. It's like when he says it, like you're not really sure if he's playing. He's not really sure what he's doing. He's like trying stuff.
He is the opposite of Tale in this way.
Anti, what is the fucking word? I hate my brain.
Look, it's been a really long week. Normally I know what you're trying to say, and I can't even think of the word that you're thinking of. So, but yeah, they are very different. So you have Tale, as I said, who's very stitched up, very controlled, very whatever, and then he has these moments where he says these things where, as I said, it's so not contrived. Like there's been no thought put into it.
Yeah.
When he says it, he's confident in his words. Like he doesn't antagonize over it. But he also, or not antagonize, doesn't agonize over it. That's the word I was trying to say before, agonize. He doesn't agonize over it.
Yeah.
But he is like, it's like he's put it out there.
He reached the calm and like a moment of clarity, and he said what he felt, and he stands by
that
it.
Moment. That's right. It's like he didn't think about it before he said it, but once it's out there in the universe, he's like, yes, I'm confident that
And
is what I
once he
meant.
said it, you can trust he's not going to change his mind. You can trust that he meant what he says, and that's what's going to how
because
things are
he's
going
serious.
to stay. Yeah,
He's serious, so he backs what he says. Whereas you have Pun, who's completely the opposite. He's playful. He jokes. He says these kinds of things, not as well or not in the same way, but he definitely like is trying to get a rise out of Tale or whoever. Like it's all very contrived. Like everything he does is very, like
reactionist.
he's not
a reactionist. Does it work? Like he says something, he sees the reaction, and he plays all the reaction of that person.
He's trying to. He's definitely trying to get reactions, and he's trying to get his attention is probably the easiest way to put it. And he's not, even though like what he's saying sometimes is a bit contrived, he's not trying to be conniving or like misleading or any of those sorts of things. Like these feelings are inside him still, otherwise he wouldn't bother with what he's doing. But because he himself is so like emotionally like damaged, I guess, is maybe not the word I want to use, but like it fits, I think. He himself is the opposite. He does agonize over everything serious that he says. He thinks about a lot. He's not going to be one necessarily who just, I believe at this point in time, this is where I'm at, is that he's not someone who's just going to randomly blurt out feelings or be like super romantic like this without thought. Like he is going to really think about what he says, about what he's going to do, things like that before it actually happens. I think the only time we'll see him be like spontaneous with feelings or things like that will be, once again, as you said, reactionary to something that Tale does or says. Like, for example, we had in episode 4 when he really upsets Tale at the school when he does the, like, I love Tale or whatever he says, or spray paints on the glass. And he's teasing to the point when he realizes, oh shit, I've done the wrong thing. And then he tries to apologize. When he can't apologize, he backs right down. Like he has no confidence in his like in being able to communicate his actual feelings, I think. Whereas they're very much the opposite sides of the coin in this way.
Going back to the image that I made in my head for them, I created in my head, and I said, I think in the last episode, going back to the image of
the planets, satellites, planets,
the low mass planet, object and high mass object. Tale pulls you. Tale pulls you in with his gravity, with the gravity of his words, let's say. And Pun is like, you know what? I'm going to. I cannot do that, but I'm going to gravitate you around you so fast. I'm going to be the only thing that you can see.
That's right. I'm going to make you dizzy and shit.
Going to be a beautiful ring around you.
Yeah, it's so kind of funny actually, because it's interesting that you brought that up, and it's funny because we were talking about abracadabra and hocus pocus earlier and stuff like that, and it's funny because it's almost like you have Tale being like, okay, here I am, this is how I feel, this is what I want, this is what I think, very straightforward, telling you how it is, showing you what it's like, whatever. And then you have Pun, who's like, as you said, spinning around really fast, flashing all these like shiny bright objects around, like, look at me, look over here, oh no, don't look at that. And like just being very misleading to try and cover the fact that he's having these actual feelings and that he's super fucking scared and like whatever else. So it's like he's like bamboozling, like, with a bit of sleight of hand only, but it's his behavior. It's like the sleight of hand magic trick is that he's trying to not let you know that he actually gives a shit. But yeah, so it's it is definitely very interesting, that's for sure.
Well, I'm not sure he's trying to hide the fact that he gives a shit, because that would not work with Tale. that would not be
No,
appreciated
but he's
by
not.
Tali.
I don't know that he's necessarily trying
He's
to. I just
scared
feel
to
like his
show the
personality.
intensity. He's scared to
Yeah.
show the intensity of his feelings because he's
Yeah.
scared that would freak out Tali and push him away.
Yeah. I feel like I think also he's really not confident. Like
Mhm.
one of the things we've established is that he is a little bit broken,
Mhm.
like socially and like whatever. So he can play, like he can act really well at like being confident and being like whatever and self-assured and that. But like we know he's not.
Yeah.
And I feel like to a certain extent, the moments where Tale really sees him and has like deeper feelings for him, the moments that like really kind of make him stop and go, oh crap, I really feel this way about this person, for Tale are the moments where he sees how like scared Pun
Vulnerable.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whereas like and like how, you know, like maybe broken a little bit he is. Whereas like when he's being confident and when he's like, you know, being all like, oh, let's kiss again or like whatever. Although those moments like are shaking him here, it's because he wants to kiss him. It's not necessarily like a deep emotional thing. It's like, oh yeah, that kiss was really good. I could kiss you again. Oh, you're getting closer. I'm just gonna stand here and we'll see what happens. Like it's a different kind of intimacy, but like there are these moments where you see like, and as I said, especially like in the last episode and that where they're back in the greenhouse atrium like room, and Tale says to him, you know, like I've been waiting for you or whatever, and they have these like honest back and forths a bit there. You know, there's that moment where you sort of there's another moment sort of in that where you see Tale kind of like accept the fact that like for this whatever it is to work, he has to play this game with Pun because this is the way he's comfortable. Like he's not.
Yeah.
They can't do it any other way.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
This is what he
He's
needs.
not ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what he needs.
Yeah. You see,
And
it's
as you
it's
said, he
something
wants
like
to be.
it's something in Tale responds to the needs of Pun. And when he said that thing in episode 1, that, you know, if you have any problems, you can come to me. Basically, I will be there for you. He meant it. And he is holding his word.
Yeah. As you said, like, I mean, I remember you saying it back then, and I remember saying he's not sure what he's getting into. And I stand by that. Like, I don't think he ever realized it to be as complicated as it is. And what exactly that would mean. Because he didn't know what it would mean for him then as well, like feelings-wise and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, that sort of factors into what you just said, sort of factors into what I was just saying before, is that once he says something, he stands by it.
Yeah.
Like he sticks to it. He's like, yep, okay, yep, I feel this way. Like that's it. That's the truth of this moment. Whereas Poon will be like, I don't know, is it the truth? Is it the truth? Maybe. Hang on. How do you feel about it? You know, like it's like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's like he's really like, I need to know how you feel about
Playing
it
off
before I can react.
people's reactions.
Yeah, before I can react accordingly. And of course, by the time he's got the reaction, it's not always the reaction that he needed or wanted. He's gone too far and fucked it up.
So, they meet Tamaguachen. No.
Yeah, I'm never going to try and say that, but I love how he's like, are you Mamagotchi? And I was just like, gee. But the way they made her say her name was ugly, like her real name.
Yeah. Maybe it was her idea.
I don't know, because that line, I was just like, really, Jim? Yeah, but you could be right. She's pretty funny. Might have been her idea.
Yeah. So then she asks them if they want to be, if Pun, I guess, wants to be a member, so he gets 10% off. And they have that thing where Pun asks for Tale's information to fill in so that he can leave a trace in that universe to show that he really was there.
But it's all just, and like even that, there's a bunch of joking that goes on after this. And it's just like, it's all just so he doesn't have to tell him his name.
That, but also in order to get Talei's information, because now he has his name. He has his date of birth. He should have just asked for the address, for the place he studied, for the phone number. I mean, come on. Should have gone all the way. It was clear what he was doing there.
But yeah,
he can find him now when they go to the other universe. He has all the info.
Yeah, well, that's true. But he has that, but also, as I said, it was another like avoidance technique, because then Tali sort of catches on to what he's doing, and he's like, okay, well, what's your name? And he's full of jokes, is Pun. You know what I mean? Like, it's all just a big joke, tease, to avoid having to tell him his name.
And Tali pushes. He's like, no, I'm serious. And he does this. He's like, he tells Pun, he asks for something. Pun is like, jokey joke. And Tali is like, no, seriously.
Yeah.
Tell me.
I know, right? And then once again, they have this other like kind of like moment where they get trapped in this intimacy. And then I'm not sure what exactly in this moment. Oh, this is the moment where Pun breaks it away. Like pulls away from it.
Oh yeah, he says they're reading lips, and he says, I like your name.
Yeah.
And there's such a longing look in his eyes when he's looking at Pun.
Yeah.
It's a very entrancing expression on Jimmy's face when he did that. I was like, that could have been a painting.
Yeah.
Like hanging on a wall. So he doesn't want to tell him his name. I'm pretty sure we both had the same justification for him.
I mean, I get it. Like, he obviously doesn't want him to think about him differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as he knows who he is, if he's a fan, if he's like not a fan, if he's like whatever, like his perception of Pun is different. Like, he's afraid it's going to change.
Yeah,
that this easy.
Beside the fact that now he'd know who exactly he was, and like he could imagine his face on him, and we know he has this thing about the way he looks, about his face, about people judging him based on appearance, but also probably like who knows how much information Tali knows about him, because he does not share any info about himself from his old life. It's like he's trying to start from a clean slate. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's probably like a bunch of different things. Like, as you said, like he doesn't want to be judged on how he used to look. He doesn't want to be judged on like misconceptions or preconceptions. And there's always this chance that like maybe Tale, as I said, maybe Tale was a fan. Maybe he hated. Maybe he was an anti. Like they have this very easy relationship right now where it gets complicated every now and then where the feelings flare up, but more or less they enjoy spending time together. It's easy, you know what I mean? Like, it's comfortable for them to be together. They're more often than not these days together than apart, you know what I mean? So
there's nothing tying them together right now, like nothing serious. Like if Pun wants it, he'll never meet that man again in his world. If he fucks it up, he can just run away. Disappear.
Yeah. It's true though, but then also that gives him the power too as well, especially now that he knows Tale's information. But it gives him almost it gives him potentially a second chance too, because if they ended back up in their world and he fucked it up in here, if he fucked it up now and Tale doesn't actually know who he is, he could always approach him in their world.
But also, like, it's like very...
without telling him who he is, you know what I mean?
But it's also a very interesting situation he's putting Tale in, the person who does not like love, the person who does not trust love. He is forcing him to trust him.
Yeah, based on feelings and belief versus information.
Yeah.
Facts and information and things that, like, obviously someone like Tale puts a lot of stock in.
He has no control over the situation at all.
Yeah. But he's normally a planner. Like the important, like factual information is important to him so that he can make his plans work, so that he can strive to meet his goals. Asking him to embark on something on blind faith without giving him any real, like, tangible information, it's a huge leap of faith. It's a huge leap of faith. And I don't
like
know whether
Tale
or
does
not
that also because he has no choice, but he does not push too much. He kind of feels probably that this is something that Poon also needs, that this is what he needs for it to work right now.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because it means, though, by forcing Tale to do this, it means that if and when he does fuck up and hurt him, that it's going to be a lot harder for Hun to convince Tale, potentially, that he's serious or that it's real or that, like, whatever, because he hasn't given, like, he's basing, or basically asking him to base all of this on, like, faith alone. And if he does that, if he gives him that, and then it all falls to bits, then it would be hard to come back from that. Like, you would want to demand everything from that person before you would be willing to open that door again.
Well, we'll see what happens next then. What happens in the future?
I hate that you know stuff that I don't know.
Ooh, you hate that,
Because I'm like, am I saying something and you're just like, wow, Zoe, that's really intelligent. I can't wait to talk to you about that. Or am I saying something and you're like, nah, you're such an idiot.
You are saying something, but the response to what you're saying is probably different from what you expect it to be. Yeah. So, the devil phone interrupts them again. It's actually the devil phone that interrupts them. It's not Poon who breaks away from the moment. The phone.
I think he pulls away and then the phone rings and it's like an excuse to continue to break that moment. I think I think he does actually pull away before the phone rings.
Okay, maybe.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Maybe they messed up the sound editing.
Yeah, or maybe I'm just wrong. It's fine. Okay, I'm fine with being wrong.
So Pidol called to ask them to go to the association to have them to meet an old member. And while that old member appears...
Before we get to that, it's so funny because they just turn up together and there's like no like surprise or shock that they're like, you know, together. Yeah. So they're like 99% of the time they're spending their time together.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, continue. Sorry. This intense music.
Yeah, this intense music, like we know something is happening and it kind of feels a bit menacing. And Poon says this person is giving him familiar vibes and Tale does not feel that. And Poon is like, oh, so it's only me who thinks he's just special.
What I took from this, from him saying that, from him having this vibe, this familiar vibe that Tale didn't respond in the same way, is that it's either someone that exclusively Poon knows, and then so then my next thought was maybe someone famous.
That's it?
Hello?
I was waiting for... You can't hear me?
I can now, but it was just like, I'm like, maybe someone famous, and then there was just this really long silence.
I was waiting for an or. I don't know why.
Well, but obviously because you know something, so that's why you're waiting for an or. Or someone from his personal life. An ex, maybe.
Okay.
Some sort of family member, something. I don't know.
Let's go watch it then. Let's go see who that mysterious person is.
Because this is the thing. Up until this moment, we don't really know that much about his personal life in the other world. So it literally could be anyone. But the fact that he feels something about that person, is interesting and it's on its own. So yeah, let's go watch part 2 then.
Let's go. So
So she's an actress he worked with. So I was right.
You're right. They work together in a series. She is older than him, and she remembered him. And when she was about to say his name, he pulled her away because he didn't want Talia to hear his name. He wanted to keep his
Yep. I can't say it either. Anonymity.
Anonymity. Okay.
It's a hard word to say. I'm like, how do you say it? I don't know. Yeah, and there starts a series of scenes of Tale being jealous because she's making Pun smile.
Yeah, so saying this right now because I have an idea later. And but I noticed that Tarley was wearing a white shirt and Pun was wearing black here.
Interesting.
So then
it's like a pause with nothing. You're like, let me just let that sink in for a moment.
No, I just had an idea, like an additional idea, and I wrote it down to talk about it later.
Okay. Fair enough.
So then Doll remains with Tale, and they say it's weird, and Tale misunderstands, and he say, well, he wants to explain. He thought what was weird was that
she meant about the name.
That Pun pulled her away, but Doll actually meant that it's weird to see Pun smile because normally he has no facial expression. Normally she is blank. And I'm like, ha 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 ha, because, while he is with Tale, his expressions are so intense, it's almost too much. It's like childlike vulnerability that makes you almost uncomfortable sometimes because it's so intense.
And he's like always, joking and laughing and smiling and as well.
Yeah, so, and then Doll just continues trying to make Tale miserable. What's wrong with you? And says, I think they're pretty close. And then we get a scene where they are out together with Bang. And she talks about Pun. She says how when they were filming on the set, he got the nickname Solemn Face because he was always had a cold and solemn face. And Pun says, just eat, don't talk too much. You know what it reminded me of? Of these scenes from movies where, you meet your partner's parents and they talk about their children and they say like embarrassing stuff and keep exposing their child, and the child is like, no, a little bit, and it feels like that to me because I know things, but not to them, obviously, or at least not to Tale because he's very suspicious of this situation.
Yeah, well, he feels jealous. So when you feel jealousy is one of those, like, they call it the green-eyed monster for a reason, because jealousy is logic just disappears. Like, there's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason. And so, like, things that you would logically just go, oh, okay, well, this doesn't necessarily mean this, like 1 + 1 doesn't equal 3. But when you're jealous, it all adds up. It all makes perfect sense. It's like, oh yes, of course, this is the reason, or like whatever. If you feel inferior, if you feel, and in this moment, this person knows things about Pun that Tale doesn't know. He knows who he is from his old life. She knows him in his old life. She knows his name. Like, there's all these things that she is privy to that he's hiding from Tale. And so he can't help but be jealous because there's like almost like an enforced distance between them. And like, while it's not like he's necessarily let this person in intentionally, it's just that's the past, but like it feels like it's different to him.
A threat
Yeah.
to the way things are. That, and also maybe she is his portkey.
Well, that's the possibility too.
Yeah.
But that's his immediate like assumption.
Yeah, because when she talks about herself, she asks about the person that lives her life, and Poon tells her that, well, she's doing great acting wise. She broke up with her boyfriend, but she found a new guy, and he is younger than her. And when she says, oh, actually, you know what, that's cool, because
I always wanted to date a younger person.
Yeah, and when you see Talei's face looking at Poon, he's so displeased. And Poon changes the topic right away. He starts talking about Talei instead. Oh, look, we're coming here all the time, blah, blah, blah. And then she asks him...
Did you notice that he it's interesting. And this is what I mean by not being able to see the logic, not seeing the signs that are right in front of your face when you're jealous. What actually happens here, and you just pointed it out, is he changes the topic, but he groups him and Talei together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're a we. We come here often.
Mm-hmm.
He's coupled them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's made them a thing, but like Talei's not hearing that. And so it's interesting because Talei's like, already mentally taking a step back.
I'm not really sure that it's all about jealousy with Talei right now. I think he is a person, jealousy does exist there. Of course it does, but I don't think it just engulfs him and it's all about jealousy. He's a very reasonable person, and besides the jealousy, the reason is there, and he's stepping back not only because he's jealous, but because he thinks maybe it's not his place also, and maybe
but the jealousy is
Poon's.
Yeah, the jealousy is enforcing logic. You know what I mean? Like the jealousy is enforcing his logic. So like,
but it does sound logical, though. It does sound reasonable, because
it does. But he's not paying attention to everything. This is what I'm saying.
He's not paying attention to Poon. You mean? Maybe he is. Yeah. Why do you think he doesn't?
Because if he did, he would have noticed the way he spoke about them.
Maybe he did.
Poon is maybe, I don't know. I feel like he is purposely distancing himself from the situation.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that he did not notice what Poon did there.
I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. I'm not saying that as an excuse for why I think that. I'm just saying like he seems to be mentally preparing himself to take a step back, almost, because, and the reason why I think he's jealous and he's not paying attention to things logically is he's overthinking like the most immediate things. Like, so he's paying attention.
The moment when she says I like dating younger guys, and he just basically scowls at Poon.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
so like
younger guy.
Yeah. So stuff like that. The fact that is it Pidol or whatever says to him, they must be close, and like, oh, look at him smiling. Like, this is like one of the worst things you can do when you're in a relationship, or like starting to be in a relationship with someone, is listen to other people and not the actual person you're trying to have a relationship with or are in a relationship with, because like other people.
Sorry, I don't know what you're saying. Why you're saying this? Because when they're in the car, he listens to Poon. He asks him.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that part though. We're talking about what's happening right at this point in time.
Well, he has no choice but to listen because they are saying things.
No, but you can listen to what people are saying without taking it on board. Like,
but
you know what I mean?
Reasonable.
Like, you're looking at it from an entire whatever episode or like point in time, because you've seen the whole thing, so you know the outcome. I'm saying at this moment in time, this is the way he's behaving. What happens like in 10 minutes time when they're in the car is different. It's different to what's happening in the scene where when they first meet, when they go for the meal. It's different.
I don't know, maybe, but I think I'm not looking at it from the entire series.
No, but you're already talking about you moved on to the car, and you're like, oh, but in the car, but I'm not talking about in the car. I'm talking about like what's happening in this part of the episode, if that makes any sense.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that hearing someone say something like this is hurtful, but saying that you're listening as if he's asking for their opinion, it sounds different, you know? Because
Yeah,
he
but
does
I'm
not
not
ask for
saying he's
their
asking.
opinion.
I never said anything about asking for opinion. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
saying, like, one of the worst things you can do is listen to what other people say.
to
Like,
me, listen to what other people say is means that you listen to them, but you don't listen to the person. This is how it sounds to me.
Yeah, but in this scene,
But
he's not given the opportunity to listen to Pun because Pun takes himself out of that scene. Like, he purposefully, like when they first meet, he purposely takes them away from Tale because he doesn't want him to know things. So that already makes it seem bad. Like, if you're feeling insecure and you're feeling a little bit jealous, it's already a sore spot between them that he won't tell him his name, right? So that's already like, so you've got a check mark right there. So from Tale's point of view, he's just like, okay, well, I'm not allowed to know this information. Like, I'm not important enough, or I'm not whatever. Like, whatever insecurity he may or may not have is being triggered by the fact that he's not. It's the whole reason why his go-to when she says, "Oh, that's weird" or whatever, is to go, "Oh no, it's like he doesn't want me to know his name." Like, because that's what's in his mind at that point in time. That is, I mean, obviously that's why Pun takes her away. Like, we know that as the viewer as well. But that's also his go-to thing. Like, that's his immediate response to her comment is, oh, he doesn't want me to know this. That's why he's like separating us. And then she then goes on to say, like, oh no, he's so happy, and oh, they're so close. Like, it's just, she's listening to that. He's listening to that. He didn't ask for the opinion, but it's being said. But you still, that's it's layering on what he's on his already forming insecurity or like jealousy or like whatever you want to call it. And then when they go out to eat, it gets a little bit worse because she's really nice. He's watching them like be friendly and close and get along well. She makes the joke about like dating someone younger. They clearly have a lot of things in common because, you know, they both used to act. She's encouraging him to spend time with her. Like, there's all these things that like he's paying attention to. And then you've got but Pun is the one who's being like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with acting. I don't want to come and help you do this. I don't want to, like, he's saying no pretty much he says no to her a bunch of times. And then, I mean, like, he doesn't say the words no, but like he's basically saying
making
that.
excuses.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then and then he's just like, when he does say to her, oh yes, we should spend time together or whatever, he does it in a way where he's like clearly pointing out that you should come to the what's the place fucking called again? I can't remember. Sorry for the swear. The what?
Association.
Association, yeah. He's like, you should come to the association. Me and Tale go there all the time. Like, so he's saying you can come there and hang out with us, not with me, with us. So he's very clearly like distancing himself, backing off, or like not, but like he's trying to say something. And I don't think he's even aware of the fact that he's doing this. Like, this is just how he feels in this moment. Like, he, you know, that's my interpretation anyway of this moment, is he's invested in Tale. Like, he does not want to have a relationship with her. He does not want to like spend time alone with her, or, you know, whatever. Like, they probably share some good memories, but like if his life was as upsetting and as distressing as you've had me believe, then like it's not all positive either. Do you know what I mean? And like reminiscing about stuff he didn't like or enjoy or whatever, it also has the potential to make him sad. I wonder how much of the smile is happy.
I had the feeling that he did not want Tale to know about his whole life, but at the same time, it felt a bit good to share a part of him, of his old self with Tale, even though he doesn't really want to do that. It still feels good. because he wants Tale
but
to
then
know
also,
him, but also doesn't.
yeah, but also how much of his we had a doll say about how, like, oh, he never smiles, blah 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 blah, and the girl also said, oh, he never smiled, blah 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 blah. We know with Tale he smiles, and yeah, in this instance he is, and as you said, it might be that he's a little bit happy. But like, is any of it acting as well? Is any of it fear? Like, is he acting this way out of fear as well? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure at this point in time. But to me, in this moment, when they were eating together and all the rest of it, he was very clearly trying to put into the universe, or like out into this little space that the three of them were sharing, that he did not necessarily want to spend time with her alone. He didn't want to have anything to do with acting.
It's funny that you say that, because the first time he looks at her when a doll presents her and says, oh, look, this is an actress, maybe you know her. What I see on Poon's face before she approaches her is fear.
Yeah, I saw fear too. Yeah, he saw fear. Yeah, because he's like, who is this person?
Threatening,
and how is it going to affect? Yeah, that's
here.
right. How is it going to threaten what I have here? Yeah. And then I think he sort of, suspected maybe who she was. And once he knew, obviously she's not a bad memory. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and but he still, like, I love how, like, took her off to the other side. It looks like
she kind of took care of him a little bit.
Yeah. She's probably more of a older sister, mentor type
figure,
situation.
kind of.
Yeah. And it's like, but he, to me, as I said, in that moment where they're all sitting around and talking, and she's being playful and whatever, and Pele is just sitting there so serious. He is overthinking and analyzing everything so hard. And this is what I was talking about. He's so in his head with it that he's not paying any attention to Poon. Like, he's not really listening to the fact that he's said, oh, no, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to be this, and if you come here, you can spend time with us. Like, he didn't, I honestly don't think he may have heard it, maybe, but he hasn't factored
maybe he
it
heard
in.
it, but the emotions that he was having were overpowering that whole everything that Spoon was doing in that moment. They were overwhelming
and that's what I was. That's all I was trying to say before. Is that in those moments, that's what I thought. I feel like it shifts a good job in the car.
Yeah, because he tries to get Poon's point of view of the situation.
He reaches. Yeah, exactly. He reaches out to him by saying, like. Because it's and I also don't know that he's necessarily trying to do this to make sure he has the right information. I think it's because he's scared, because he says, like, he basically says to her, and as I said, this goes back to the jealousy as well, is, you might as well spend more time with her. The fact that he, like, almost repeatedly said no, like in the previous scene, and he said, because she's probably your portkey, you even said she was something special. Like, it's like he has to point that out as well. Like, it's like, because that, like, it's like, how bitter are you about that, Tale, about the fact that he said she seemed special?
This conversation, the way they talk in the car, is so interesting, because Tale-san says something that makes like question Poon's status in his life. Like, are you really? Am I your portkey? Poon gets sad. Tale says something again that distances them. We get to Poon trying to, like, ha ha ha, but then he gets sad. That everything Tale says right now, everything, every theory, everything that every time he gets serious, it scares Poon, which is funny because Tale does this out of fear, because later we understand that what he's fearing is to be abandoned, to be left alone. And it makes sense because why is he scared of, like, maybe not, like, why does not want to fall in love? Because if you fall in love, maybe you probably get abandoned. This is why one might be not into love, because they believe it will not last. Especially if, like, his history, if something in his life made him doubt and not trust this thing.
Yeah. The interesting thing as well in this is that, he says to him, says to Poon, about, you might be, she's probably your portkey. And the way Pun responds is very interesting to me, because he doesn't immediately deny it. He doesn't, like, it's,
Well,
I
because
feel
that
like he's
would be,
slowly,
that would be so unreasonable, and Talay would not accept that answer.
yeah.
And Talay slowly understanding. Pun is starting to understand how Talay's brain works.
Yeah. That's right. He doesn't think so, but he's not going to say that. Instead, he says, "I'm not." What does he say? I'm not.
Pinpoint her as my portkey.
What'd you say?
Not pinpointing her as his portkey.
Yeah, he's like, let's wait and see, because we don't know anything, basically. And, I mean, the interesting thing is, in this, as you said, like, Tale is afraid of being left behind, because portkey or no portkey, Pun is his person in this universe, just like he is just like Tale is Pun's. Like, they've become each other's person, regardless of the portkey situation, regardless of anything else. At this moment in time, they're each other's person, where, like, they're the ones they feel safest with, the ones they feel happiest with, the ones that, they can share all each other's fears and whatever. They're this part of each other from the other world, without even, knowing each other there. Now you've got this person who potentially can also be that, because, once again, portkey or no portkey, she knows him from the other world. She's a different alternative to him. Like, he doesn't have to be with him. He doesn't have to spend time with him. He doesn't have to worry about him. Like, Pun doesn't, I mean. This is Tale's thought process. And so these questions that he asks about, where he says to him,
God.
if you found your portkey, would you go back straight away?
Which basically means, would you wait for me? Would you stay with me?
Yeah. Are you just going to abandon me and go off and, like, how important am I to you?
And then Pin says, do you want me to wait? He wants Tale to ask him to wait.
The thing that I thought was interesting, though, before that, he says to him, like, before he answers him, he gets this look on his face, and he kind of looks out the car window for a second. He thinks about it, and like, you get this thing, like, he doesn't know, like, he doesn't know if he wants to go back. He doesn't, like, he's having this moment, I feel like, where he's like, what would I do? Because do I, like, I feel like he just doesn't know. So he says, I don't know. He says to him, if you get the...
Before that, Tale says, Pun asks him, do you want me to wait? And Tale says, no, I just want to know. And to me, it sounds like I want to prepare myself, because he doesn't want to ask him to stay, because he thinks that's an awful thing to do, because for him, that is quite tragic. It's painful for him to be there. So he would never ask Pun to stay with him.
Yeah, because he himself doesn't want to stay.
Yeah, and Pun is sad again. And then, yes, the I don't know, and besides, I do not remember him looking out the window, but what I saw was some kind of a testing expression again, like he was not sure what the right answer would be here, or while he was considering things, he was trying to read Tale. And then he says,
I feel like his answer, I don't know, but if you get the chance, don't wait for me. Which is funny, because it's like, I was watching something, or we were talking about something, and may have even been to do with vice versa, or maybe I was talking to someone else. I don't know. My brain has this vague memory of a similar conversation.
I'm pretty sure I sent you a voice. You did not respond, but when I was watching this scene several months ago, I sent you a voice message about this scene, talking about this conversation that they're having.
Oh no! Well, this is just a similar conversation that I had recently with someone about something, where he is basically what he says here is, it's like he knows that this is what he thinks Tale wants to hear. Like, this is what, because he's, as we said, he's starting to understand how Tale works. He knows how desperately Tale wants to get back. So he says to him, I don't know, but if you get the chance, don't wait for me. But it's like, it's funny. Oh no, my mum and I were having a conversation. One of the Chinese dramas I watched the other day. No, was it China? No. Beautiful Gong Shim, the Korean one I was watching that I talked to you about. In that show, the main male character has to go overseas for some reason, like they often do in Korean dramas.
Of course.
And the girl is very happy in her life. She's just settling into a new job. There's all these things. And, like, obviously he wants her to go with him. And his first instinct is to ask her, but, like, he asks her about, oh, if you could travel, would you travel, blah, blah, blah. And she's all like, oh, no, I'm really happy. I wouldn't do it now. And so he doesn't ask her. But she finds out from somebody else that he is going, and this person says, oh, he'll probably ask you to go with him. And instead he says, you know, I'm going to be gone. I don't know how long, you know, become a good person, like a better person while I'm gone. And, you know, I'll see you when I get back, sort of thing. And she is absolutely devastated because she was all ready to go with him. And it just reminded me of this in that Tale answers the way, Pun answers Tale in the way he thinks Tale would want him to, and by saying, like, you know, if you get the chance, don't wait for me. But Tale is, like, hurt by this because because he well, also he says he then replies that you wouldn't wait for me. Like, does this mean you wouldn't wait for me? Like, he's totally misinterpreting what Pun is saying. Pun is saying, like, offering him, like, what he thinks is the best case scenario in his interest, like in Tale's interest, best interest. But instead he's, like, offended by the offering. And it just reminded me of that scene from the show because, like, he didn't ask her because he didn't want to ruin her life and he didn't think she would want to go. He didn't want to give her the opportunity to reject him or whatever. So instead he did what he thought she would want, and in actual fact, like, she just got hurt by it. So it's interesting because it's a very similar situation. Instead of just saying, like, I wouldn't leave you, or I don't want you to go but you should, or like whatever, he tells him the best version of what he thinks.
And then Tale gets so sad
so
he can't even look at him while he, you know, is looking at him and saying his goodbyes. He only watches him leave.
Yeah.
And then he just stands there, like, in the car, sad.
Yeah, he sits there and he's so sad. I'm like, and when Pun comes back and, like, mouths, like, I'll wait for you or something like that, before I go back, I'll wait for you, or whatever he says. And then he runs away like a little kid who just got shy is, like, the fucking most adorable thing I've seen this year. It's like,
seriously,
it was so cute.
There's this little kid. There's this little kid inside him that is hidden by the solemn face. He has to protect the kid.
I died so much. Yeah, like the innocence inside of him. But he all but, like, skips away, like, because he's so shy. Like, it's so friggin' cute. Like, it is really, really cute, that moment.
And it's cute how the way this lip reading, lip mouthing became an intimate language between them.
Yeah, that's right. It's theirs. It's their moment. And I love how, you know, he understood him straight away. Suddenly, you know, he's happy again. Things are good.
He's learning fast, Boone. He's a fast learner.
But I think also, like, he wanted to tell him that, you know what I mean? But it's like, as I said, it's like he is not the person who, in that situation where they're in the car, is going to be like, oh, yes, I would totally wait for you. I won't leave you, blah, 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 blah. He had to think about it. Like, it took him a moment to work out, no, hang on, wait, this is the right thing to say.
But also he needed the freedom. He needed the freedom to run away after saying that.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I was trying to say earlier, but yeah, you're completely right. And then, of course, we get the snow stuff the next day. And so Winter White, I'm guessing why the title for and that. Yeah, it's interesting because we have these... Sorry?
Snow in Thailand.
Yeah, I mean, that itself is just weird.
It's a different universe. Who knows, maybe Thailand is situated, like, on a different place on that planet. Yeah,
closer or further away from the equator. I don't know. I'm bad with geography. I don't know where you need to be for it to be that cold, but yeah. Closer to me, I guess, because we do get some snow. We don't get a lot, but we get some.
Oh, the moment when they're doing that ritual, that, you know, the whole thing with the ritual is hilarious because, again, superstition and stuff, and of course, Pun knows. But
the thing is why would you have a superstition for snow in the other world where it doesn't snow in Thailand? Like, that was such a weird thing.
Maybe he worked overseas.
Yeah,
And
potentially.
yeah, but it didn't work. Like, it did the opposite thing in this universe.
Yeah, in this universe, it started snowing straight away. Yeah.
And then that thing where they're watching the snow, and we had this a conversation. We had the conversation over how is that thing called? Over
A voiceover.
voiceover, exactly. I was like, over voice. No, does not sound right. Yeah. So
yeah, and he says to him, "Is this the first time you've seen snow?" And he says,
Chalet says it's his first snow. Yeah.
"Yeah, it's his first snow." And he says, "Oh, it's with me."
I'm the first one you see snow with, which means that you'll think about me every time you see snow.
It's nice.
Again,
And it's funny because
stuff.
the other thing I thought it was cute about this scene was, once again, I'm bringing it back to the K-dramas, but we do know, like, because, you know, we're Thai fans and that, we know that the Thai actors and stuff like that like K stuff, like K-drama. They love going to Korea. They like K-pop. Like, there's a lot of crossover in terms of, like, interests and stuff, especially involving Korea. So this scene was cute to me as well, because in Korea there is a
saying.
Not really a superstitious, but it's like a thing where if you see the first snow of the year with, like, your loved one, you know, you're gonna have a successful relationship. Like, you're gonna speak, you know, the person you see the first snow with, you're gonna spend that year with, kind of thing. And so I thought that was it's a really, like, romantic tradition. And if that was factored in at all, because, you know, of this scene, it's very cute. Like, the whole thing is very cute, because it's, once again, pulling in this idea that, you know, they're coupled. They're coupling themselves. Pun is constantly coupling them. You know, this is another example of him being like, you know, you and me, kind of thing. Like, it's going to be you and me. Which is very cute.
Now that the snow started falling, I want to talk about my idea for why it's winter white, and about what white means here. So in this scene, again, Pun is wearing a black shirt, and Saleh is wearing white pants. So what does I related it mostly to the snow, but if you think about white is generally cleanliness, right? It's purity, exactly. So snow covers earth, covers the old stuff. It's blocking the past. It's opposite to white, opposite to black, which we talked about what it meant for Pun. It meant, like, nothingness. It meant his past. It meant him not existing. Snow is literally like a clean slate, right? It's covering the old stuff. Also, being reminded of the moment when Pang was talking about Pun's past, and Pun was like, don't talk too much. Like, he was trying to hide all that. He was trying to start a new page. So what I'm basically seeing here is, like, he is just trying to start a new life, and Talay wearing white in this episode represents this new life for him. He is haunted by his past, by Talay brings him novelty, brings him this purity, and saves him from the black. He clings to this,
like a promise of the new,
new beginnings. And trying to cover the old stuff, hide the old stuff, forget the old stuff, forget the old life he had. Escape it.
I see that. There's you know, we talked about purity as well. There is an innocence in these moments as well, like, when it's just easy and carefree, and it's all very sweet, and to the point where, like, they've basically finished what they're meant to be doing, and the director's like, just like, did we call cut? And he's like, should we say it again? He's like, no, let's just watch them. Like, they're enjoying watching how they're behaving.
I
Because
got
it's
Goombab vibes from that moment. Let's just keep watching it and see what happens.
Yeah, like the director is clearly shipping them at this point. The comments in the script meeting versus like this moment here. But there was a line, like, because, you know, once again, Pun is doing his thing where he's like, oh, we're playing boyfriends. Let's be boyfriends. Boyfriend. Literally in this last bit here, we could have played the boyfriend drinking game.
Oh, yeah.
Because I believe that Pun says boyfriend like about 10 times. It's probably not that many, but like I would have to go back and count them. Someone feel free to tell me how many times he says it. But yeah, he says the word boyfriend quite a bit. You're my boyfriend. Let's play boyfriend. And he's all like cute and cheeky and sweet. And at first, like, Tale's like, I don't know about this. And then he sort of gets into it, you know, like, Pun says something to him like, is this your first time, like, meaning like acting, I guess? And he's like, you just have to kind of like lean into the character and relax. And so then he sort of does, and they're having fun, and it's cute and it's flirty and it's like whatever. And then Pun kisses him on the cheek, and he says to him something like, Tale says something to him like, you don't have to be like, it's just, you know, whatever, you don't have to get that deep into the character, or something along the lines of that. And and Pun says something like, your cheek
gives me cute aggression.
Yeah, getting me with cute aggression. And I just thought that's such an interesting turn of phrase. I'm like, whatever do you mean by that, Pun? Please elaborate.
Well,
for those at home.
What they mean there, and I think it's a thing, because I noticed people say this on Twitter, is when you find something so cute, but you have to touch it, you have to squeeze it, you want to like do something to it. Yeah. Like aggressively do something to it, you know?
Yeah. He's like, and he then does squeeze it. So it's like, I'm either going to kiss the fuck out of it or just like squeeze the fuck out of it.
He says, I just wanted to do it. I'm not playing. I just did what I felt like doing.
Once again, it's not part of the acting. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And meanwhile, as I said, you've got the director and like the, I don't know, a second in command being like, oh, they're so cute, and like clinging to each other like you do when you're a fangirl. So I feel like, yes, very much. I would be surprised not to see them shipping them together more in the future. But yeah, it was all quite cute.
It was.
It went from like, ooh, what's going to happen, to dark kind of, to, oh, no, to, oh, it's so cute again, to cute.
And it's only half of the episode.
So, but it's like, I feel like a little bit of whiplash, because I'm just like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, we're moving through time quickly in this episode. So.
Yeah, I get the impression that it's going to be over before it's, you know, too long, sort of thing.
What I meant is with them, like the characters are moving through time. Oh, no, we're seeing a lot of time passing by.
Yeah. Like this movie shooting thing is what I meant, is going to be quickly done.
Yeah. So this is it for part 1 of episode 5, part 1 of our podcast. We're going to continue watching. As for our listeners, thank you for hanging out with us. Share our podcast with people who you think might be interested. Share your thoughts with us. And goodbye for now.
Bye.